Classic fairy tales they're timeless for a reason. But what's really interesting is how they're constantly being retold and remixed for new generations. Today, we are going to dive into a pretty fascinating and, let's be honest, a really bizarre modern take on the ugly duckling. So let's get right into it. So, yeah, that's the big question here, isn't it? We're going to break down this strange animated version of the story and see what happens when its whole message of hope just gets, well, flipped completely on its head. It's a story that feels so similar in its basic setup, and yet it's just radically, almost shockingly different at its very core. Okay, so to really get a handle on the chaos of this remix, we need to have a good baseline, right? Let's just take a quick second to remember the classic Hans Christian Andersen story that I'm pretty sure we all grew up with. The original story, it's just this beautiful, really hopeful journey. It's all about putting up with rejection and hardship to finally figure out who you really are. That journey through all the suffering is what leads to acceptance and belonging. Now, keep that structure in your head, because what we're about to see, well, it completely shatters it. All right, let's switch gears and jump into our modern remix. This version, it doesn't start with a mysterious egg or any kind of spooky foreshadowing. Nope. Instead, it opens on a scene that is just almost painfully normal. So the story kicks off with a rooster just visiting the duck family. It's all very polite, very neighborly. They're chatting about their kids. He gets invited to stay for dinner. It feels so normal, it's almost weird. You can already feel something a little unsettling just bubbling into the surface. And there it is. That's the first real sign that things are off. Right in the middle of this perfectly polite dinner, the rooster just casually makes this bizarre comment about eating the plate. It's the first little crack in that polite facade, and it's a huge hint at the chaos that's about to unfold. So, after that strange little dinner party, we finally get to the main event. The eggs are hatching. And this right here is where the story takes a super sharp and really brutal turn away from the original tale we all know. I mean, just look at this contrast. In the classic story, the mother duck is confused, sure, but she's still protective. She tries to defend her kid. But here, oh no. The reaction is immediate, it's visceral. That whole moment of motherly instinct is just gone. This one line just captures the whole shift perfectly. It's not just shock, it's pure disgust. The rejection is instant, and it's absolute. So, you see, the main event is the same. The ugly duckling hatches, but the reaction, the feeling behind it couldn't be more different. So the story still has that core element of rejection, right? That part is familiar. But the journey that comes next is just a compressed, frantic mess. The duckling doesn't wander off and have a bunch of adventures or learning experiences. It's just violently and chaotically thrown out. This whole sequence is just a total whirlwind. There's this one last attempt to connect. The duckling offers its father some food, and it's met with a blunt "go away." So the poor thing just flees into a storm. And then we start cutting between its cries for help and the parents suddenly confusingly searching for it. It's also disjointed and desperate and bleak. And this brings us to the final section, and honestly, the biggest departure from the fairy tale we know and love. The classic story is all about that hopeful ending, that amazing transformation. This version, well, let's just say it stops a little short. This right here is the remix. The journey through hardship doesn't lead to self-discovery or finding your real family. There is no beautiful swan waiting at the end of the tunnel. In this version, the suffering isn't a path to an ending. The suffering is the end. And these are the final lines. The duckling is lost in the storm, crying out for help and drowning. And then the story just ends. That's it. No resolution, no transformation, no hope. Just a desperate cry that fades into nothing. It is an unbelievably abrupt and startlingly dark finish. So, that leaves us with this pretty big question. If the original story is all about perseverance and finding where you belong, what on earth is this new story about? Is it some kind of nihilistic joke? Is it a commentary on a world where, sometimes things just don't get better? It's a remix that keeps that familiar tune but changes the lyrics from a song of hope to a howl of despair. And that is a truly chilling update.